Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Nabia Mudassir. In this video, we will talk about the sum of examples of exothermic and endothermic reactions. In previous video, we discussed about the exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. We have studied that what is an exothermic reaction and what is an endothermic reaction. In this video, we will talk about some examples of them, and we will see that which kinds of things, which kinds of reactions are called the exothermic reaction and which kinds of reactions are called the endothermic reaction, right? So come to the first example. If we take a simple example can be, for example, while we melt ice, right? While ice is converting from the ice form to the water, right? While ice is converting from the ice form to the water. Here in this process, if we look at the process, in this process, while the ice is converted to the water, this process is called the melting process. This process is called the melting process. And while we melt ice to the water, right? So the ice needs energy. The ice needs heat or energy, right? So as it takes energy, so it becomes more energetic. The molecules of water becomes more energetic than the molecules of ice. So here, as if we come to the diagram of this, so we can write it like, for example, this. While the ice is melting, start to melt. So here, the potential energy of the ice cubes are here, right? While it starts to melt, so it takes energy. More energy to activate. After activation, it take more energy and convert itself to the water. So as the water are more energetic than the ice, so the process is called the endothermic process. And here, this is the ice energy, potential energy, and this is the water potential energy. As the enthalpy changes is the difference between the potential energy of the ice in the water or the reactants in the products. So here the enthalpy is equals to positive. Why? Because the product have more energy than the reactants. So here the enthalpy is positive and the reaction is called the endothermic reaction, right? Because when water starts to melt, so it needs energy to melt, right? To convert to water. So this is called an endothermic reaction. This is the first simple example of the endothermic reaction in the process of melting, right? Look, if we write it in a formula, in a chemical formula, so we can say that when we want to convert the solid water or the ice to the liquid water, so we need to give it energy. We need to give it heat. So after it gets heat, so it converts to the water. And the process is called the melting process. And this process is also called an endothermic process because the reactant takes energy to converts to the product, right? This is a simple example of the endothermic reaction. The second reaction, the second example that we can take is that while we have gas and we want to convert the gas to the liquids, right? There is a gas with us and we want to convert that to the liquid. So if we want to convert a gas from the gas form to the liquid form, so we need to give it energy. So we need to take energy from it. Because the molecules of gas have more energy. So we need to take energy from them and try to convert it to the liquid. The process in which the gas are converted to the liquids are called the condensation, right? The process in which the gas are converted to the liquid is called the condensation, right? In condensation, the gases are converted to the liquid. And if we want to convert gases to the liquid, so we need to take out energy. We need to take energy from the gas to convert it to the liquid. So In the diagram of this can be written like this. For example, if we come to this is the gas form. For example, this is a gas form. They have more energy, and while it is going to convert to the liquid, so we need to take out energy from it. So as it needs to release its energy, because as we have studied the exothermic and endothermic reaction, and in that we have studied that exothermic reaction is a reaction which release energy, right? And endothermic reaction is a reaction which observe energy, right? So as it must release energy for to convert to liquid, and so for that, and here this is a gas, right? So it have more energy. For to convert to liquids, it needs to release its energy. So it is release energy, and now it is not energetic as before. So it has been converted to the liquid form, and the process is called the exothermic process. Why? Because here in this process, the enthalpy changes is equals to negative. The enthalpy changes equals to negative. Why it equals to negative? Because before I told you that the enthalpy changes is the difference between the potential energy of the reactant and the product. So now if we subtract the reactant from the product, so we get a negative number, because the product is least energetic than the reactant, right? So this reaction is called an exothermic reaction. This reaction is called an exothermic reaction. Why? Because the reactant releases energy to the surrounding. It releases energy to the surrounding. So therefore, this is called an exothermic reaction, and the process is called the condensation, right? And if we come to another example of the exothermic and endothermic reaction, so we can say that while we convert the solid things to the liquid, and after that it converts to the gas, right? In this process, if we look at this process, while we have a solid thing and we want to convert it to the liquid and after that to the gases, so this ice, think that this is ice cubes, right? When we want to convert the ice to the water and the water to the gas, right? So we need to give this energy, right? We need to heat up it, because this is an ice, and if we want to convert it to the liquid, so we must give it energy, right? So as we give it energy, and it takes energy, after that its molecules becomes movable, and it starts moving. So it's going to convert to the liquid. And if we give more energy to the liquid, so it starts to convert to the gas. This process is also called an endothermic process, because it takes energy. This process is also called what? This process is also called an endothermic reaction, an endothermic process, because it takes energy during the reaction, right? And if a solid is directly converted to the gas, if a solid is directly converted to the gas, the process is called the sublimation. The process is called what? The sublimation. Look at the process. If a solid thing is directly converted to a gas, the process is called the sublimation process, right? And this is an example of endothermic reaction. Now come to the example of exothermic reaction. Now, if we take it in inverse form, like for example, we want to convert a gas to the liquid, and after that the liquid to the solid form, right? Here, in this reaction, while we want to change the gases to the liquid and the liquid to the solid, this gas needs to release energy. We need to take out energy from it. It needs to release energy. And while the gas wants to convert to the solid form, so it also needs to release the energy. The energy that their molecules have, they must release that energy for it to become calm and a solid thing, right? So this process in which a gas is converted to the liquid, and a liquid, while a liquid is converted to the solid, a liquid is converted to the solid, this process is called the freezing process. This is called the freezing process. While the liquid converts to the solid, the process is called the freezing process. And it needs to take out energy. It needs to release the energy to the surrounding. So therefore, the all process is called an exothermic process. All the process is called an exothermic process, an exothermic reaction, right? This is called an exothermic process or an exothermic reaction. And when a gas is directly converted to the solid, when a gas is directly converted to the solid, look at this here, the solid directly converted to the gas, and in this form, the gas directly converted to the solid. In the process in which a gas is directly converted to the solid, this process is called the deposition process. This is called the deposition process. This is called what? The deposition process. These were some examples of the endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction. The main thing in this is that in an endothermic reaction, the reactants absorb energy. Most important thing. It absorbs energy. In an exothermic reaction, the reactants emit or release energy. They release what? They release the energy. These are called the exothermic and endothermic reaction. These were the examples of endothermic and exothermic reaction. And thanks for watching.